welcome to another edition of the Amazons and Afripreneurs Interview Series from the stable of Agbari Multimedia Company, where we showcase and celebrate Amazons and Afripreneurs on the Africa continent. Our mission, like I always say, is to inspire you into greatness as we celebrate the winning Amazons and Afripreneurs in Africa. If you have any questions at all from this interview or past interviews, kindly drop them in the comment section and we will surely get back to you. And I'm so excited to interview this Afripreneur that we have today. Is one who has distinguished himself in the medical world. But before I bring him on, let's just quickly listen to his bio.
Dr. Gbadamosi Foladavid is a practicing medical doctor, visual artist, and humanitarian that has successfully managed to combine two careers in the very distinct fields of medicine and art with philanthropy. He began building reputation back in medical school with the Skin Art series, which entailed highly detailed artworks of patients living with skin conditions, aimed at raising their self-esteem and creating awareness about their conditions. He then proceeded to found the Foladavid Foundation, an initiative aimed at ensuring healthy lives and fostering a culture of creativity in children as a means to empower communities. The foundation has successfully carried out free medical outreach programs in 3 geopolitical zones in Nigeria and continues to raise funds for patients who cannot afford treatment across Nigeria. Doctor is also Nigeria's foremost speed painter, co-founder of Artists Connect, the largest gathering of artists in Africa, and has received several nominations and awards in art, including the Future Awards Prizes for Arts and Culture 2017, NMA Lagos Young Physician of the Year 2020, being one of the special 20 awarded by His Imperial Majesty Oni of Ife for his outstanding achievements in creative culture, and he currently holds the title as the only person that has been bestowed the honor of being inducted into the Royal Court in 2020. In 2021, he was awarded a grant by South African LLC for visual arts development in South Africa and Nigeria. Dr. Gbadamosi has been featured on prominent networks such as the BBC World News, where he was tagged the Doctor by Day, Artist by Night, Al Jazeera, The Guardian, and has graced the covers of several magazines. He is an Amazon world celebrating.
Welcome, Dr. Gbadamosi Foladavid.
Thank you very much.
It is indeed an honor to interview you. While listening to your bio, I sort of drifted off, just imagining how you've been able to combine 2 words. You know, in Africa, we either do sciences or we do arts. So you will get to that in our interviews. I'd like to ask my very first question. How did you arrive at this combination? What was it like as a child for you? How did you perfect both sides of arts and medicine and sciences particularly?
Thank you very much. What I think is, when I was a child, for me, there wasn't any clear distinction between, I didn't even know if, anything like that existed. I was very interested in everything. Interested in statistics, every single subject taught school. I always wanted to excel in every single area. So till today, I believe that even if I wasn't doing art, probably would have been a lot more other things. It's very, very everything. And art wasn't really a thing for me until I was always good at creating images, technology, tell you to draw a plant, so your own drawing is like best in class, and everybody's bringing their workbook to you so they can get high marks. So that was what it was for me, just being able to create those images very till I went to university, really started art professional. So that was when art came into in a big way. But before then, I was interested in everything from art. Even the commercial subject. I was very interested in economics. So yeah, but when I got to university, I was already majorly in medicine, and then I discovered that I could do art on the level. So it was just my interest in doing a lot of things. Plus, I think the inbuilt talent, being able to create those images naturally, go for a course or lecture or anything. That's it.
Being a very poor artist myself, I was afraid to ask if there was any other thing that we did not add in your bio, because I'm envious right now.
No, no.
Is there any other hidden skill somewhere that we've not added to this bio yet?
There's a lot, but
Ah,
one other
I
thing
thought
is
as much.
I, I don't want to confuse people, so let's just keep to the major things.
Okay. So to my second question, in Africa and most parts of the world these days, we see standards being lowered. People have to demonstrate excellence by being exceptional. It's not a common thing to see people do excellent things, but you have been able to demonstrate excellence as a humanitarian and Nigeria's foremost speed painter. How do we bring back excellence into our ways of doing things as Africans?
That is a very tough for excellence for an individual to achieve excellence. I think primarily from the individual themselves. Uh, are you hungry enough? And what is your primary focus? What's your goal? For me, I don't think I was pursuing excellence. I just really liked doing what I was doing. Fine, for medicine, I was already in school, so there's no way I wasn't planning to drop out. So that was already, the course for that was already set. I was going to be a doctor. For me, the arts, I loved doing it. I was always hungry to do a lot more. I didn't think I wanted to settle for just one thing. I first of all started painting, drawing with my pencils. I started portraiture with my pencils, and then I started speed painting. I went on to start painting. For me, I always thought, what's the next step? Once I did this and oh, I can do this. What was the next thing? What's the next thing? So for me, it was just the passion and the hunger, and I just enjoyed doing it. I think if people emulate that, if people just do things they're passionate about, without focusing on, oh, I want to be this, I want to be the biggest. No, if you focus on just doing the next thing and enjoying what you're doing, there are certain things that would follow in that regard. So for me, I think it's just about letting people understand this is the reason. You have to pick a reason why you're doing what you're doing. You have to enjoy what you're doing, and just keep going. Don't settle for less. Don't be mediocre. Just if you think you've hit an particular level, don't stay there and think, oh, this is it. I've made it. Always strive for more, and all other things would follow. I think if people start to understand that much more, yeah, there will be excellence across the entire.
For someone who combines, okay, let me say medicine is your career, so but I think arts is the passion. Am I correct?
Yeah,
So
let's put
that's
it
what
that
you
way.
do. But for someone who combines these two very different fields, you must have challenges and risk that you have to take. So I want you to share with us the strategies that you use. There must be a strategy to be able to have a balance of the two.
Okay. I would always say to, at every point, decide what is more important. You're stuck between, for now, I'm stuck between doing 4 or 5 things. So you always need to know which one is number one at that point in time, because it oscillates, it always switches. So if when I was in school, school was gonna be number one. There is no debating school as number one. And then arts will always come as second thing. then I hadn't started my foundation, so it was just between school and so it was always going to be school first. If I had something come up that would interfere with school, then I canceled that because school was always going to be one. If there was an opening, then I can do other things. So that's it. You always need to understand which one is more important at that particular time, and then you go ahead and make sure that is priority, and others can come in second. The next thing is also planning. How often do you plan? Most people say, "Oh, when I wake up in the morning, I take a book, I write down my plan for the day." That's very good. I do that too. I write my plan for the day in the morning. But one other thing I do is I write my plan for the day almost every hour. Almost every hour. It's something is always coming up. I'm changing. I'm replanning. I'm pushing things, adding things. So for me, the planning is constant. It's not just once a day. The planning is like 4, 5, 10, 20 times a day. It's constant planning. Um, you know, Setting time to everything you're going to do. There must be time allotted to everything you're about to do. That way you can, pack a lot of things. And then also, I do 2, 3, 4, 5 things at the same time. I know people say multitasking can make you less efficient. I don't think so. I'm always the kind of person where if 3 things can be done at a time, then I'd rather just do the 3 of them at a time. If 4 things can be done, if 2 things can be
Wow.
done, yes, I'll just do it at the same time. So I'm always lumping things when I'm planning. Oh, we're gonna do these 3 at the same time, and yes. So that's it. I find ways to multitask. I find planning constantly every time with proper time management. There's also priority listing. You have to know which one is important at that time. The time can be a long period. I said, okay, for the next 5 years, anything medicine that comes up takes priority. Or for the next 1 year, for the next 1 month, anything that comes up that is art takes priority. So you keep doing like that. Um, so and you also need to allot time periods for these things. It's very important. And then also, yes, striving for more makes you want to do everything, but you need to understand you cannot do everything. You need to tell
Abi?
art that okay, well, for the next 2 years or for the next 2 months, I don't want to hear anything art. I want to face hospital. You do that, then
Yes.
you can come back. So you also need to know when to prioritize and strategize. That's it for me. But it's always constant. It's always constant. So yes.
You make it sound so easy.
It is
I
it
want
is
to
it's
hear.
actually
I want
it's,
to hear
it's
your most challenging experience. The most challenging experience. Has anything ever shocked you? That how do I go about this in your experience?
I don't know. Um it's hard to pick really, but I think the strategies have always worked. They've always worked. If I lose something, if I decide, oh, I'm not going to do this because of this, I know it is for the better. I know it's important, so I won't let it get to me. So I won't see it as a challenge or something that helped me. You understand? The first thing that came to mind when you asked that question was during school you're allowed to do electives. Electives, everybody goes out to study in like an outside posting per se. And I think the elective was like 1 month or 2 months or something like that. And it was so easy to get a visa, fly, go to another country, experience the medical system. Very much fun. You're also allowed to not do the electives if you want. And I said, okay, you know what? This elective year, I'm not going to do my electives. I need to focus on art. So you also need to make sacrifices like that once in a while for the other one. But if you know that, okay, it's for if you're thinking future more than immediate time, you tend to know that okay, those sacrifices are yeah.
Okay. I would have loved to ask your definition of success and failure, which is the usual practice, but I think from what you said so far, I can guess. But I wanted you to talk about your new grants, and what you hope to achieve with it.
Okay, yes. In the world of art, basically, there's a lot of opportunity. It's a lot of opportunity because there's so many things that haven't been tapped into. so many things that people are still having problems with. One of it will be emerging artists not knowing what to do. Okay, so I just started drawing, I just started painting. How do I exhibit my works? How do I meet the great artists that I need to meet? How do I, exhibit outside the country, talk to galleries, get representation? There's that gap there where, as if I start today or start tomorrow, for the next 3 or 4 months, who am I talking to? Who is guiding me? Who's directing me? So we decided, you know what, we want to tackle that. We want to create a development program where we can tackle and get people from a very young age who are interested in these things and help them. I always looked at myself when I started in the university. If I had started, I've always known how to draw. I've always been interested in art. If I had done that, if I'd found a program that helped me when I was in the primary level or the secondary level, I would have had an extra 6, 10 years, of that development, I didn't have. So I want to create that program where that gap, we can tackle people from there and take from a very young age and develop them, and we're doing it in South Africa and Lagos now. We plan to also spread the tentacles to other places. We already started in South Africa. Lagos should start by next year, January. So we're going to build a center. We call it the Visual Development Hub, and also an animation center where we teach people animation. So the grant is majorly towards that. We also want to start an exchange program where 2 artists from Nigeria can go to South Africa, fully funded for residency. 2 from South Africa come to Nigeria, fully funded. We have the residency accommodation already in Nigeria. We have the one in South Africa. We are planning to involve some universities also into it. We're already talking to some and signing some documents with some of them. So that's basically it. And the plan at the end of the day, this is the major goal. It's arts and cultural preservation, in the sense that we want to preserve African culture across all the countries. So we want to bring up animators and artists that can help with cultural preservation, starting from South Africa, Nigeria, then we move to other countries. And hopefully, with the people we're talking to, we can also get all the help we need to do that.
Dr. Gbadamosi, you just jumped into I was going to close with this big question about your title from the Onis, from the Oni in Ife, and wanted
Okay.
to your roots, how connect with your roots as a doctor who's traveled wide and has so much experience, exposure and experience, but you've gotten them, and I've seen how you plan to bring that into your mentorship of younger ones. So
Yes.
let me just get a feel of how it feels to do I call you Oloye? Is it appropriate? I can call you Oloye.
No, it's just Foladavid. For the Oni of Ife, for Kabiyesi, he's a very youth-centered king.
Yes, yes.
He's taken a very special interest, especially with people that have particular goals that he can help, that he can tap into. So that is basically the relationship we have. I have a company set up with the Oni of Ife. It's called the Royal African Arts. Now, the Royal African Arts also has dream of pushing African arts globally. You understand? So it's a wider reach. He's the king. He has a large reach. So the plan is global domination. It's like proper representation of African art on the global scale. So that is what we are working on with the king. But he has we have a wonderful relationship, and we're working towards building that.
This is so laudable. I'd love to partner with you by nominating my daughter or my son as one of your mentees
Yes,
as soon as
wonderful.
they upstart. And I hope that
Yes.
you situate that center at a place where it's more convenient to gather more people who I would call the indigent. So maybe mainland would do. So they don't have a problem of having to travel to the island. But I want you to capture more people because you see, arts work, the way it captures the mind and psychology of children. I have a 5-year-old, and
Okay.
when he spoke the first time, he had an accent just from watching cartoons. So imagine what graphics can do for any child. I'd
I
really love,
understand. That's
to
wonderful.
partner with you when you kick it off. But
Please, definitely.
quickly,
Please.
just talk to a young person who's stepping into campus and is aspiring to become a Dr. Gbadamosi in future. What will you tell that young person today? What sacrifices
Um,
should he make? What choices should he make? And how does he go about becoming successful like you?
okay. I would say, be yourself. Don't try to, you go to school sometimes and you see other people doing something in a particular way. Say, I have to do it this way in order to, know. There are many ways, there are many roads, but be yourself. Don't pressure yourself. You understand? Understand your limits, understand how, okay, this is how I'm going to get to where. Proper planning is, I always say. If you don't know where you're going, you're not going anywhere. Know that this is where I'm headed, and then follow your roadmap to that destination. It's very important to always, and then try to have fun. I always say, don't carry this thing too much on your head. I always tell people, some people go to school and they are so serious, and you tell them to come and watch a movie, they'll say no. Say, okay, let's go and play football, they'll say no. And because they want to read, they want
What can
no,
you say?
no. Try to have fun. As much as you want to be excellent and be the king and the best, try to impute some form of relaxation or fun into what you're doing. Please, it's very important. Always strive for more. Also, when you're working, don't settle. Don't think I have made it. Oh, I'm always going to be at this level. No, there's always a higher level. So strive for that. Always strive to get better everything you're doing. So yes, follow the roadmap, be yourself, proper planning, try to have fun. Try to have fun, very important. And strive for more. Don't settle for less.
So I've learned 4 things: be yourself, proper planning, relax, take it easy. Not no work and no play. Work and play. Enjoy yourself, then aspire for more. Don't settle
Yes,
at any level. Aspire
yes.
higher. So aspire for excellence. It was really interesting talking to you. I've learned so much. And
Thank you.
can you, if you don't mind, share your social media handles so that our
Yes,
listeners
on
can
Instagram
talk to you?
would
Okay.
be on Instagram at Foladavid. On Twitter at
Okay, at
Foladavid Art.
Foladavid.
Yes.
Okay.
On Facebook is Foladavid, and I think that is all. Think of it. Yeah, YouTube
Okay.
is Foladavid also.
Do you have a
So
mentoring group?
yes,
The name of
yes,
your
YouTube is
mentoring group,
Foladavid.
that's coming. Fola David.
Then yeah, Foladavid for YouTube. Um, if you go to my
Okay. I meant the
Instagram, you'll see more
mentoring.
details.
Okay. No, I got your Instagram handle. Fola David. That's at Fola David, simple, or for Instagram.
Yes,
For Twitter is Fola David Art. Then for
yes,
Facebook is Fola David.
yes,
But do you have a mentoring group? The hub you're trying to start, what's the name? So people
yes.
can search for it
We're going to
online
make
and
it.
find ways.
We're going to make it public from January. For now, we only have that in South Africa working. We're starting the one for Lagos, and we're going to make it public by January, and then we can have as many people as we can.
Okay.
Yes.
On behalf of the management of Agbari Multimedia, I want to say thank you for your time and those impactful counsels that you just shared. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
I
so
really
much.
enjoyed myself, and I'm more exposed and wiser now on how to go about life.
Thank
So
you
if
so
you want
much.
to
I really,
follow Dr.
yeah,
Gbadamosi Foladavid, go to IG, that's Instagram, and follow at Foladavid. And on Twitter, follow at Foladavid Art. And on Facebook, Foladavid again. Then you can keep tab on him till the up starts, because I will be keeping tab
please.
till the up starts in
That's
January.
lovely.
And my son and my daughter, I will ship them immediately over there. But thank you
That's
so
lovely.
much for joining us today.
Thank you
And
so
I
much.
hope that you'll be available next time if you do want to talk to you
Definitely.
after
Anytime.
you've kicked start. Yeah.
Anytime.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So I'll let you go now. Thank you. And to our to the Agbari Multimedia family out there, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and share, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And of course, if you have any comments at all, don't forget to drop them in the comment section or in our DM, and I'll take them or would work on them. Till I come your way again, I am Nima Akashat Zibiri. Be inspired by this interview and get ready to be the next Amazon and Afripreneurs to be celebrated on the show. Bye.